Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of the Mr. Islam Answers Back show. It's been a while. I did make a video, about a week ago, where I was letting you guys know what's the update on the situation. Just been really busy, but trying to keep my word and trying to get back on the videos as much as I can. So here we are. Today's topic, Isaiah 9:6. Is it about Jesus? Many times when we have discussions or debates or dialogues with Christians, depending on the subject matter, whether it is prophecies about Jesus, or whether he's the Son of God, or whether he is God, usually this verse will come up in a discussion. And as I told you guys, I've been on Clubhouse, and this verse has come up a lot on Clubhouse, where people are bringing this verse up. They think it's a prophecy about Jesus. They think this is somehow connected to him being God or being the Son of God in some shape, form, or fashion. But when we look at the details of Isaiah 9:6, my conclusion is that it does not point to Jesus. My conclusion is that it is not talking about Jesus at all. So that's what we're going to do. It's not going to be a long video. Let's get into the details of Isaiah 9:6 and let's see, is Isaiah 9:6 talking about Jesus? So let's jump right in. So as you see the verse on the screen, Isaiah 9:6. And it reads, "For us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Before we go any further, don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber, go on ahead and subscribe to the Mr. Islam Answers Back YouTube channel. You won't regret it. We have a lot of good information on our channel, a lot of good debates, a lot of useful information for Muslims trying to get into apologetics and debating and dialogue, or just for your everyday, conversations on social media. You want to be able to refute the claims that are against Islam. You want to be able to debate these subject matter, use it in your dawah. You'll be very pleased with the information. Excuse me. Alhamdulillah. So go on ahead and subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget, we could definitely use your support to support the platform the same way the Christians and the haters and the atheists support their content creators. I'm gonna need you to support your content creator as well. So utilize the links in the description of this video. Join our Patreon. We have a lot of good information on our Patreon. There's notes that I have from my debates. I share them with you on these various topics. In fact, I'll be sharing the notes from this video this week. If you want to use it for yourself, I'll be sharing it this week. From some of the past videos, I'm a little bit behind, so I will also be sharing the notes from those videos as well, which you can utilize for yourselves, brothers and sisters, in your own discussions, your own debates, or just if you just want to have that information just for your own personal knowledge and expanding your knowledge and information. Amarul Afiq, wa alaikum salam, brother. Wa alaikum salam. Good to see you. Appreciate you checking in. Spread the word while you're on. Let others know that Mr. Islam Answers Back is live. All right. So let's get into it now. Let's get into the details. Wa alaikum salam, Birdness. Wa alaikum salam. So don't forget, like I said, give it a thumbs up so that way it'll help the algorithm and help, get this information spread out. And like I said, become a subscriber, become a supporter, hit up the Cash App, hit up the Patreon, support the content, support the platform, so that way we can do more of this work and bring you more of this information. All right. So like I said, let's take a look. Let's start with the beginning. All right. For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. Let's start right there. Government on his shoulders. The question, did Jesus have the government on his shoulders? Right? Did Jesus have the government upon his shoulders when he was there? Well, let's take a look and see. Let's find out who had the government upon their shoulders at the time of Jesus. So that way there is there's no doubts about it. Okay? As you see on the screen, you see Matthew chapter 27 verse 19, right? Matthew chapter 27 verse 19. And it reads, while Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat. That's the key part right there. While Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, this is him sitting in the judgment of Jesus, right? This is him sitting in the judgment of Jesus. His wife sent him this message: don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him. The key point though, yes, as you can see, she's acknowledging that Jesus is innocent. Pilate also said Jesus is innocent. So this is interesting that he would, according to the Christian claim, that he would still execute an innocent man. As I've said in my previous debates, history shows that Pilate was a very stern man, and if he had declared Jesus innocent, he wouldn't have cared what the Jews have said. He would have declared him innocent, and that would have been the end of it. And if any Jews tried to resist, he would have let the soldiers loose upon them. But today we're focusing on this part. It says that Pilate is sitting in the judge's seat, not Jesus. So the government is not on Jesus' shoulders. Obviously, the Romans were in power. We all know the history. The Romans were in power. So Jesus had no government on his shoulders. We further see that he did not have the government on his shoulders based upon Luke chapter 20. He didn't even have the rulership of the Israelites on his shoulders, as Luke chapter 24 verse 21 shows us. The context is that this is after the alleged killing or crucifixion, i.e. killing Jesus by putting him on the cross. This is after that event, the alleged event. And we see that the followers of Jesus are upset because, as you see here in Luke 24:21, it says, but we had hoped that he was the one who was going to redeem Israel. And what is more, it is the third day since all this took place. So, as you should know, there was a prophecy, or is a prophecy, or was prophecy, right, that the Israelites had in the Torah, or in the Old Testament scriptures, that when the Messiah comes, he would destroy their enemies and restore the kingdom of Israel and be their king, right? That's the expectation of the Messiah. He would destroy their enemies, the enemies of Israel, or Israelites, and restore the kingdom, and of course he would be the king. But as we all know from the story, the Christian version of the story says that that didn't happen. The Christian story said no, instead the Messiah gets killed and Israel is not restored. So as you see here, this is the proof that he had no government on his shoulders, because his followers are upset, as you see. They had hoped that he was the one that was going to redeem Israel. And obviously he did not redeem Israel. So no government was upon his shoulders. No government was upon his shoulders. Right? No government upon his shoulders. So let's go to the next part as we look at the details. Let's go to the next part, looking at the details. Right? Welcome, Brother Sammy. Assalamu alaikum. Nadios 123. Wa alaikum salam. Brother Shazad. Alhamdulillah, I haven't seen you in a while. Wa alaikum salam. Abu Nice, is that it? Abu Nice. Wa alaikum salam. Abdullah Isa. Welcome. Welcome. Amarul asking, have I seen Jason Skywalker? No, I'm not familiar. Subscribe to the brother. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. All right, so let's continue on. Again, don't forget to give the video a likes up. Don't forget to give it a likes up. Don't forget to give it a likes up. If you're not already a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe. So we demonstrated that he had no government upon his shoulders, right? The Romans are in control. Pilate is sitting in judgment of Jesus in the judge's seat. Obviously, Jesus has no authority. He has no government upon his shoulders. He didn't have any government even of the Israelites on his shoulders, as Luke 24:21 demonstrates. So the next part is this. It talks about his name being Wonderful Counselor. Not really too much of a big deal, because as I'm going to show you, he doesn't match up to all these other things. So the Wonderful Counselor thing really is not really a big issue, in my opinion, right? The other things are, though. So no government upon his shoulders. Like I said, the Wonderful Counselor, his name be called Wonderful Counselor, really, to me, really irrelevant, because all the other things don't match. All right. And I'm not really familiar with him being called Wonderful Counselor anyway, as far as I can recall. Possibly, but doesn't, like I said, it's really irrelevant, neither here nor there. Okay. So the next thing is that he's called the Mighty God. This person, whoever this child is called supposedly the Mighty God. Is Jesus the Mighty God, everybody? Well, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. Is he the Mighty God? Well, according to John 5:30, here is what it says Jesus says about himself. Does this sound like the Mighty God to you? It says, by myself I can do nothing. By himself, he can do nothing, everybody. This person, they said, is called the Mighty God, so somehow. But here Jesus says, I by myself can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just, for I seek not to please myself, but him who sent me. Okay? Let's read the next translation if that's not clear. The next translation, let's read that one. It says, I can do nothing on my own. I like that. More clear, more direct language. I can do nothing on my own. I judge as God tells me. Therefore, my judgment is just, because I carry out the will of the one who sent me, not my own will. That's clear. So clearly he's not the Mighty God. He makes it clear. God, we all agree, right? Those of us who believe in God, we all agree God can in fact do on his own, right? God doesn't do the will of anybody. He does his own will. Jesus, however, says in their book in John 5:30 that he does nothing on his own. He only carries out the will of the one who sent him, not his own will. Those are clear, direct words. Clearly, this person, Jesus, is not the Mighty God, according to Isaiah 9:6. Clearly not. Clearly not. Further proof that he is not the Mighty God, according to Isaiah 9:6. Let's take a look at Matthew chapter 27, verse 46. It says, about 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Right? Let's read the next one, more direct English. At about 3 o'clock, Jesus called out with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you abandoned me? Why have you abandoned me, God? Does this sound like the mighty God to you? He's telling you that God has abandoned him. He feels that God has abandoned him here on the cross, on the alleged cross. Obviously, he's not the mighty God. If he in himself feels that God has abandoned him, clearly he can't be the mighty God himself. Because if he were God himself, he wouldn't have been abandoned, right? You would just be yourself right there as God. You can't abandon yourself, right? You can't abandon yourself. Wherever you are is where you are. You can't leave yourself behind. So obviously he is not the mighty God. If you're still not clear, let's take a look at some other verses. John chapter 20, verse 17. It is said that Jesus said here, "Don't cling to me," Jesus said, "for I haven't yet ascended to the Father. But go find my brothers and tell them I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." That's very clear. He's not the mighty God himself. He says he's going back to his God and your God. In other words, his God is also your God. But Jesus is not your God. He obviously is not the mighty God. The mighty God has no God. The mighty God is your God, however, but he does not have a God himself. However, as you see here, your book tells us that Jesus says that he has a God and his God is your God. Christians, you tell us that he is your God. You tell us that he's your God, but he's telling you that no, his God is your God. The God of Jesus is your God. So obviously he doesn't match Isaiah 9:6 as the mighty God in that verse. He obviously is not the mighty God. One more to make it clear that he is not the mighty God is John 17:3. It says what? "Now this is eternal life, that you," and here, and I want you guys to understand that here, right, he's talking to God, right? Right here he's talking to God, and he's letting God know that what? That you are the only true God. Notice the words, only true God, and I am who? I'm Jesus Christ, whom you, the only true God, have sent. Obviously, he's not the mighty God. Right? Obviously, he is not the mighty God in Isaiah 9:6. He's telling you that I have a God. He's telling you that there's only one true God, and it's not him. Here in this verse, he is talking to the only true God, and he lets him know, you are the only true God. It's like if I make a prayer right now and I say, "Oh Allah, you are the greatest. Oh Allah, you are the only true God." Obviously, I'm not referring to Brother Mr. Islam Answers Back as the only true God, right? Obviously, I'm not saying that Mr. Islam is the greatest. I'm talking to the one that is. That's what Jesus was doing here. He's right. These words attributed to him is saying that he is talking to the one that is the only true God. Obviously, he is not the mighty God of Isaiah 9:6. Right? He's obviously not the mighty God of Isaiah 9:6. It's very clear. All right, let's look at some further details. Let's look at some further details. Right? So the next thing is what? What does it say? The next thing says, the mighty God, everlasting Father. Now, this is an interesting one to me. Why I don't know why Christians use this verse. I don't know why they use it and think that it's talking about Jesus. Here it says the everlasting, whoever this child is, it says he, in addition to all these other things, that he is the everlasting Father. But the Christians should know this right off the bat, that this is not him, because they tell us that Jesus is who? He's the Son, they say. They say that Jesus is the Son of God rather than the Father, right? He obviously is not the Father. So obviously Isaiah 9:6 can't be talking about Jesus. He's not the everlasting Father at all. But just in case you're clear, just in case you're undecided about that, let's go back to that verse that I gave you. John 20:17. Let's go back to that one, just in case if you have any doubts. Here in John 17, what does Jesus say? He says, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father." Obviously, the Father is up in heaven, so Jesus has to ascend back to him. So obviously he's not the mighty, the everlasting Father himself. But let's read the rest of it just in case. I have not yet ascended to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I am ascending. I'm going up to who? My Father and your Father. Obviously, he's not the everlasting Father. He's not the mighty God, and he's not the everlasting Father either. He says, look, I'm going back to the Father. And my Father is also your Father. I'm not your Father. I'm not the Father of you. I'm not. So obviously, he's not the everlasting Father of Isaiah 9:6. And then to put the cherry on top, as they say, as to put the cherry on top, let's look at John 14:28. If you had any doubts, if you still want to argue, you still want to try to push back, well, here, this one should really end it for you right here. John 14:28. You heard me say, I'm going away, and I am coming back to you. If you loved me, you would be glad that I am going to the Father. Obviously, he's not the Father. He's not the everlasting Father. He's going to the Father. So obviously, he can't be the Father himself. If he was the everlasting Father himself, then he would have to go anywhere because the Father is right there. Instead, he says, I'm going to the Father, but here's the kicker. For the Father is greater than I. If the Father is greater than him, Christians, then obviously he is not the everlasting Father of Isaiah 9:6. He obviously is not the everlasting Father, because he says the Father is greater than him. He obviously is not equal to the Father. He obviously is not equal to him, and he obviously is not him, because he says very clearly, I am going back to him, which means obviously the Father is in another location and is obviously not him, Jesus, right there. But he makes it clear the Father is greater than him, which means obviously that he is not the everlasting Father of Isaiah 9:6. He's obviously not the everlasting Father of Isaiah 9:6. Okay, and the last verse, or the last statement in the verse, right? The last statement in the verse, as we look at and that's what you Christians got to do. They always rattle this verse off, but they don't look at the details and see, does Jesus match the statements in this verse? They just repeat what they heard, never taking time to examine the details. As I'm showing you, the details demonstrate he doesn't match. He doesn't match. So let's take a look at the last detail, right? The last detail says, Prince of Peace, everybody. So this person, this child that's born, has a government on his shoulders. Jesus didn't have it. Like I said, the wonderful counselor thing doesn't really, isn't neither here nor there, in my opinion. Because like I said, all the other things don't match. And like I said, I'm not really clear if he was called Wonderful Counselor or not. Now, Counselor could be the Comforter, the Advocate, but still, like I said, there's obviously more than one Comforter. Jesus talks about that, right? So that's really, again, that's not really the strongest point anyway. And then he doesn't match all these other things in the first place. So look at the last one. The last one is Prince of Peace, everyone. Prince of Peace. Does Jesus match the Prince of Peace? Let's take a look at Matthew chapter 10:34 to see, does Jesus match up as the Prince of Peace? Well, according to Matthew 10:34, what does it say? It says here that Jesus says, don't imagine or don't think, don't suppose that I came to bring peace to the earth. I came not to bring peace, but a sword. He says in unambiguous words, I'm not here to bring peace. Do not think. He said, don't even imagine it. Don't imagine it. Don't suppose it. Don't think it. I am not here to bring peace on earth. I'm not here to bring peace on earth. Therefore, Christians, how then do you think that how is he the one of Isaiah 9:6? How is he the Prince of Peace of Isaiah 9:6? When he's telling you right here in clear words, I am not here to bring peace. And he says, don't think it. Don't think it. Don't suppose it. I am not here to bring peace on earth. Clear. Let's take a look at some of the other verses that demonstrate this. Right? How about Luke 12:51? If you're not clear on Matthew, let's look at Luke 12:51. Look at Luke 12:51. Do not, he says right here, do you think I came to bring peace on earth? Rhetorical question. What is his response? No, Christians. No. Do you think that I came to bring peace on earth? The answer, he says, is no. I tell you, but division. I'm here to bring division. I'm not here to bring peace. I don't know where you got this idea that I'm the Prince of Peace. That's not me. I'm here to bring division. Excuse me. Right? Look at the other translations. Do you think I have come to bring peace to the earth? No, I have come to divide people against each other. I'm not here to bring no peace. I'm here to divide people against each other. How then is he the Prince of Peace of Isaiah 9:6, people? Huh? How is he the Prince of Peace of Isaiah 9:6? When he's telling you, don't even think that that's my purpose. That's not my purpose. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. All right? I'm not here for that. So it's very clear that he is not the person spoken of in Isaiah 9:6. All right? He is not the person spoken of in Isaiah 9:6. He had no government on his shoulders. I showed you where Pilate and the Romans are in authority. So no government on his shoulders. He's not the mighty God. We showed you where he says that I have a God and his God is your God. There's only one true God that sent him. He's not the one, obviously, that was the one true God, the only true God, because he's the one that was sent by the only true God, as his statement demonstrates. He's not the everlasting Father. Christian theology, first of all, says Jesus is the Son, but in their scripture it says that he has a father and his father is your father. He says, I'm going back to the Father. Obviously, that means that he's not the Father. He says the Father sent him. He says the Father is greater than him. Obviously, he can't be the everlasting Father if the Father is in fact greater than Jesus himself. And Prince of Peace. He says very clearly in their book that I am not here to bring peace. Don't think it. Don't suppose it. Don't imagine it. I am not here to bring peace. In Luke, do you think, he's asking the people, do you think that I came to bring peace? His answer is no. I direct, unambiguous. He's not vague about it. He's clear and direct. No, I'm here to bring division. I'm not here to bring peace. I'm here to bring division. Therefore, I believe we have demonstrated very clearly that Isaiah 9:6 is not about Jesus. Maybe in a later video, I will do a video to show you who Isaiah is talking about, because the fulfillment of that prophecy is in Isaiah, everybody, for those who don't know. But that'll be another video. I'll do another video just for your knowledge, your additional information, because it really has no bearing for Islam, but you can still use it in your refutations and your rebuttals. That the fulfillment of Isaiah 9:6 took place in the book of Isaiah. That whoever that person Isaiah is talking about is mentioned where it is fulfilled. It actually is fulfilled in later chapters of Isaiah. But that'll be another video at another time. Okay, brothers and sisters, and those who will watch this later. So there it is. And like I said, I will be adding the notes of this video to my Patreon within this week, inshallah. All right. And I am behind on some of the other videos, but I will be adding some of the other videos that I've done over the last few months, where we will you can have those notes for yourself. All you got to do is become a Patreon supporter. Of course, I will be straightforward with you that I only allow those notes for a certain level of being a patron. So if you want to be a patron, I have different levels. If you just want to give $3, you just want basic support, you can do that. I have $3, $5, just the basic level. But if you want to get the notes, if you want access to this deep information, this deep knowledge, then I add a certain level. I think the minimum is $10, inshallah. But again, you're getting a great deal of information and knowledge in return. You will get access to my notes and stuff like that. And of course, you also got to think about it that I got to, you know, keep it, because I'm sharing it with the Muslims, but I don't want, you know, my opponents to have it. Although, of course, if they wanted to they can pay the $10. But of course, they would have to, you know, you're gonna have to pay for that. So please understand why I have to put it at a certain level, so that way all my opponents don't have access to my deal. Although it don't really matter, they still can't refute them anyway. But you'll get it. You get the point, right? These are still my debate notes, and I use these in my debates, and I don't want them just, you know, nilly-willy, freely out there for everybody to use, including opponents that I may have debates with. But like I said, in any case, don't get it twisted. I'm not worried if they did get them. If they do pay the $10 and get it, it doesn't matter, because you still can't refute these anyway, right? They're that tight and strong, you can't refute them anyway. But like I said, you get the point. But like I said, inshallah, you want access to these notes. Okay, you want access to the notes, then you know, you'll get it there. So yeah, I will do my best, inshallah, to get these notes up to you this week, within this week. So all the brothers and sisters who are already Patreon supporters, once it's up, you'll have access to it. For any new subscribers, anybody new who wants to become a patron and wants to have access to the notes, I will have it up within the week, and I'm going to get to work. Wallahi, I'm going to get down to work and start, you know, just really bearing down and putting up all the other notes from the previous videos, because like I said, I'm kind of behind. But as I explained in the last video that I did, and like I said, inshallah, I'm going to, you know, try to be more consistent and do it like this. Even like this took about 30 minutes, so you know, I can work with this for now, and then I can get back to work, get back on my grind, get back up to, you know, my level. As I told the brothers and sisters, you know, last year going into this year, the COVID really, you know, it really put a setback on your brother, as it did many people. You know, I'm sure a lot of other brothers and sisters out there, you've had setbacks with COVID too, depending on your business, your job. So your brother, Mr. Islam, is no different. I've been affected by it. So I've been just really trying to grind and get back up to, you know, a level of normalcy in my living, you know, inshallah. So, you know what I mean? So I appreciate you brothers and sisters who've been able to maintain your support of the platform through Patreon or whatever. Believe me, I appreciate it. May Allah reward you. Again, if anybody wants to be a new helper, join the Patreon. If you just want to give a one-time support, then hit up my Cash App. It's right on the screen. As you can see, it's right there on the screen. And we appreciate it. We appreciate it. And of course, it goes to supporting the platform, allowing us to do more videos, get better equipment, you know, and just improve the whole thing over, inshallah. All right, inshallah. All right, so I'm gonna end it right there. Don't forget, for anybody who watches this later, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and don't forget to support the platform through either the links in the description of this video, or what you see on the screen, the Cash App or the Patreon, which are also in the description of the video. All right, in addition to other ways to support the platform. And like I said, I'm giving you something in return. My book is available. Don't forget my book. If you haven't got my book, it's in paperback or it's in ebook form. I got martial arts self-defense videos that I do. You know, I do martial arts, I teach that. So if you're interested in self-defense, I got those videos available. You know, all the links are in the description of this video. So I thank you, brothers and sisters and others who watch. May Allah reward you, and inshallah I will see you on the next video. Assalamu alaikum.